Hi, we're here at PlaceTech London with Dan Drogman, CEO of Smart Spaces, and Ella Walter, Innovation Manager at GPE. Welcome, guys. We're going to talk about how GPE is approaching innovation and embracing technology in commercial real estate. It was great to hear Toby's interview and your panel earlier. Congratulations on that, being part of PlaceTech London. So GPE and Smart Spaces, known as great innovators within property and real leaders of PropTech, and obviously working together. So start by telling us a bit, Ella, about how you approach innovation at GPE.
Yeah, absolutely. So at GPE we approach innovation in a very systematic way. We have a very clear message from the top that we need to be at the forefront of new technology in the industry. But in order to do this, and the way that we approach it and implement it is that we kind of go through lots of different problem statements that are faced by the business, and really try to make sure that when we're working with new technology and bringing innovation into the business, we are doing it to solve real business problems, to add value to what people are doing in their day-to-day work.
And Dan, Smart Spaces has worked with GPE for
7 years now. It shows you what early adopters GPE are, and they're now reaping the benefits. And I think they're way ahead of the competition in lots of ways.
Yeah, and I believe you set a world first for one of your buildings, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Hickman in Whitechapel was the first in the world to receive the Platinum Smart Score rating. So we're really proud of that, and together with our work with Smart Spaces, we've been able to achieve that.
That's amazing. And together you've created the Sesame app to drive the culture and engagement within buildings. Tell us how that's going for you.
Yeah, it's going really well. So we first started working with Smart Spaces way back in 2015-16 to build an office app for our tenants or our occupiers to be a real digital touch point for them to get more engaged, and also provide features that are really useful in their working day as well.
Yeah, certainly. And I think where we differentiated ourselves was that we integrated with the building from day one. So that meant that the access control was in the app very early. I know a lot of apps might have that now, but this was right at the beginning. And then we had the lighting control, the HVAC control, and by having these really tangible everyday features, we got great engagement, and that helped us learn more about the occupier. And interestingly, a lot of those features are part of the Smart Score certification. So when you're going for the Smart Score certification, you have to evidence that you have these features in place and you're tracking the data to improve the building.
Okay, and what are the latest features, or what's coming next in terms of product development and the amenity that occupiers are asking for, Dan?
So desk booking is a huge piece now, because a lot of businesses didn't know how to reoccupy the office post-COVID. So I think if you can give them the tools, you'll get greater occupation, or occupation will be sooner and managed better. And then you understand more about your occupier, so you can further improve your services.
Yeah. Would you go along with that, Ella?
Yeah, so in addition to the desk booking and efficiencies that we can get in terms of energy usage by stacking up people working within the same areas when the office has low occupancy. In addition to that, we're also working together to improve the user experience of the app, specifically looking at more physical touch points where the physical and the digital go together. So for example, we're looking at lift calling via the app. So when you use the contactless entry through the turnstile, it would then call the lift to your exact floor for a smoother customer experience on the entry.
Brilliant, yeah, it really speeds up getting into the office.
Well, it does. It's improving the physical user experience and the digital user experience. Again, the best thing about using the app to do this, you can measure it and continue to improve it. And also it removes that anxiety with the lifts, where you don't know if the lift's coming or not. We can actually show you in the app real time which floor your lift is, and give you an estimate of how long it's going to take to arrive, and everyone loves that. How many people panic when they get to the tube station and they can't see how long to the next train? It's doing the same for lifts.
And tell us about some other ways that Sesame differentiates itself from other platforms?
Yeah, so I think from GPE's perspective, what we've been able to do with Sesame that we might not have been able to do with other platforms is that because we've been working together for so long, and at the start, office apps were a really, really new thing. So we've been able to have a really close relationship on the product development side of things, which has meant that at GPE, if we want to try a new feature and see if it works and adds value to our customers, we've been able to work with Dan to do that, and then test new features quickly and keep what works really well, move on to something different if it doesn't.
Yeah, and the way we've architected the platform is to allow it to be heavily customised. So you really get your own true identity. The Sesame app is unlike any other occupier engagement app we have out there because they've got so much control on the look, the feel, the features. And I think that's a key success to our platform.
Okay, and what have your main sort of takeaways been from PlaceTech London?
Oh, good question.
Well, the one I did was this morning actually around Oxford Properties, talking about how they choose or select a product, and they might find the best product in the world, but they can't actually roll that product out because it's not global. They don't have a global footprint. But if they love it enough, they would actually help invest or mentor that business to be able to roll out globally, so they get to use that product. And I thought that was really interesting. That's a great way to look at the market, to think, well, don't just ignore someone just because they're UK based. Yeah, can we work together to roll out on a global expansion?
Okay, it sounds like there's a conversation to be had about
maybe, although we are global already.
Yeah, very good. Any other trends that you're seeing or that you've picked up, Ella, from the show?
Yeah, personally I've really enjoyed the panel discussions around decarbonising the real estate industry. It's a big priority for us at GPE as well, but it's great to hear what other developers and investors are doing in that space.
I think what's tapped in for me is that we've always had the energy feature in the app, so it shows you how much energy you consume as an occupier. But I think that's going to have a lot more greater focus now. Like, how can we help you reduce that energy footprint so you can see what it is, and you can make some small modifications. But yeah, can we have it so when you book a desk on a Friday, if the office is empty, could you share an office on a lower floor where there's more density, and actually switch the other floor off and save that energy? And I think that's going to be a big feature of the app moving forward. We call that feature stacking.
So, how does Sesame help with ESG?
In terms of what we've been doing with GPE and Sesame together, one of the first things that we did was look at air quality monitoring throughout our portfolio. So we worked together with Smart Spaces to allow our occupiers to see the air quality information in their spaces, in their meeting rooms and in their office space as well. And that's been really helpful for us. And in fact, now we've actually deployed air quality sensors across the whole portfolio, across all 70 buildings that we have. So it's a real commitment to the standardisation of that across the whole business.
Major commitment, yeah.
I mean, it's a great advertisement for returning to the office, because if you look in central London, a lot of the times in an office, the air quality can be 20 times better than it is outside because of the filtration systems in the air handling units. And so having that feature early in Sesame, if you're working in a flat in London, you're thinking, well, actually, I'm only a few streets away and it's 20 times better at the office, you're going to make that trip.
Yeah. And I think as well on the air quality point, we're seeing an increasing interest from our occupiers at a business level to understand the air quality in the offices, because it really affects productivity. There's much more research coming out about that now. So what we're really able to do now is prove that air quality is really high in the offices, and therefore have that as a selling point in terms of productivity of the business when their staff are in the office.
Yeah, it's going to get more and more important, isn't it? And especially as retention, if the economy goes into a slowdown, for instance, retention of occupiers is going to be more important, and having a compelling case for why it's healthy to be in the office and good for productivity is only going to be useful, isn't it, for landlords?
Oh, definitely, yeah. A landlord that provides the tools to operate the business, that straight away, if we was to go into an economic downturn, you're going to think, well, hang on, that's a cost that I've already got wrapped into my rent. I don't need to go and buy a productivity suite. I've already got this Sesame app that can help me manage my office.
Yeah, I think as an industry as a whole, providing workspaces, we're really moving from a mentality of providing space to providing space as a productivity tool. Now that alternatives for working from home are much more available as well.
And so what's next for Smart Spaces?
So I think energy is a huge piece now. Everyone wants to understand how much energy they're consuming. So we've had that feature in the Sesame app for a while, but I think now it's the stage where we can actually advise on how to optimise that.
Okay, thanks for joining us at PlaceTech London. Thanks to Dan from Smart Spaces. Thanks to Ella from GPE. It was brilliant.